When we on the floor and all of that stuff, we have to hold ourselves accountable to a certain degree. We as Muslims are supposed to give each other sincere advice. We can't make anybody do anything. We can advise and say and warn and give them dalil on different topics. But when we're on the floor, we need to think like that.
Yeah, right.
No one talks about the impact, the emotional, mental impact it has on children in polygamous situations. Are men even sitting down and talking to their kids and talking about their choices? Mm-hmm. No, I'm just away. Like, this is what I'm saying about having real, concrete discussions around.
Which is a very, very valid point. The problem is that she broadly painted it as though no one is doing it. Maybe not in a different masajid, maybe not around you. But yeah, we do that. You can go to our YouTube channel, if that's where you're watching this at. We interview our children. Our children had their own discussions about different things and so on. So, and we share the ups and the downs, the things I did right, all right, things I did in a good way, things I didn't do the best way. Okay, because they all have an impact, and we sharing that and being transparent because we had to weigh whether or not we'll just successfully practice polygyny after we figure this stuff out on our own, or we share it and benefit other people and get more barakah that way. Mm-hmm. And clearly, since we're speaking to you now, we chose the latter, and we hope you appreciate that. But yeah, we do. You know what I'm saying? One of the most recent videos, Coach Nyla had an interview with my bonus son and her son. Had an interview with him, right? Then we had our daughters, and they had a whole circle, and they just had a candid conversation. It was live streamed. All right, so you can find those, and you know we do talk about it because it's important.
And that.
Yeah, and just like I said, if you're not educating your children to begin with, that's problematic. Mm-hmm. We could avoid a whole lot of this extra stuff if we actually looked at Islam as a complete holistic way of life, and polygyny being part of half your deen because it is a form of marriage.
Stop weaponizing it.
Yeah.
On this, from the point of intention, not execution.
Yes, exactly.
From the point of intention, when you intend to do it, that's when you have when the thought even comes into your mind, sit with your wife, sit with your family and have these discussions, because it's going to change everything in your household. That marriage.
We don't suggest the waiting until execution, you know, the thought comes and you want to do it. We want you to go ahead and talk about it even before that time. All right, even before that time, then of course you can revisit it because you already spoke about it before. It makes it much easier should that time come and you decide to execute it. But again, the video's long, so I'm
going to be easy.
Got
I'm
a
not
few
going
more
to
minutes
disrupt
left.
anything. I just need, but are you being honest about what that ability you need time to make your decision? I think the second thing is talking to the women about this. We're ladies, so we talk to the other ladies about this. You can, just like you said, make a choice to enter, to say, you know what, I'm down with this. I'm cool with it. I want to come into the picture of a family already and enter. You need to be educating yourself about what that's going to entail. You need to be realistic about what that's going to mean. You need to be honest about what you're actually looking for and what you're actually expecting. I don't think the old bait and switch is just going to cause trouble. I'm cool to renounce my rights. I don't need financial support. I am going to be easy. I'm not going to disrupt anything. I just need, but are you being honest about what that's going to mean? And you're cool with it now that you're coming in as number 2, but what about when number 3 comes? Are you still cool? Like, so how realistic are we being about?
It's really crazy because the way she said it was like that if you're anything but the first wife, that you got to give up rights. that you have to relinquish rights, you have to do this, you have to do these other things. That's not what that's about, because we don't have the, it's not this hierarchy, it's not this, this thing where it's you give up this for that, or whatever the case may be, or what it made it seem like. I don't know if that's what she meant by it, but that's what it sounded like. And then it was the other part that came after, like, oh yeah, that's fine for you, because you're the incoming. So you're like, oh, well, I'm in this already made family, because I've done videos on that too, about what subsequent wives and second wives or incoming wives have these fears and these things, and you're like, well, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, so let me not be this way. Let me be as easygoing as possible. Let me, because of lack of information, a lot of different things, knowledge, all that other stuff. But when you understand that being a wife is being a wife is being a wife, regardless of if you first, second, third, fourth, then your rights are your rights. That's the way that is. Yeah, you choose to give it up, that's still your choice. However, that's not a necessity. That's not a requirement. But that thing of, is it okay for this person, okay for that person? When we talk about minding your marriage, yes, you're entering into polygyny. You're entering into a family that's already been there before you've been there before you arrived. However, your marriage to your husband is still your marriage to your husband, just like the first wife, her marriage to the husband is her marriage to the husband. You're part of the family, but your marriage is your marriage. So any third one, fourth one, or whatever coming in, their marriage is their marriage. That's what minding your marriage entails.
It's really beating them down and putting them in a bad position. And just like you said about holding space, he's going to need to hold space for her. But of course, somebody who's emotionally immature is going to get tired. Oh, we already spoke about this. How long are you going to keep dragging this?
How long are you going to keep blaming me?
How many times are we going to have this conversation? You know what? I can't be around you. You're just nagging me all the time. You make it uncomfortable. You make me not want to be around you. I'm going to go. And then she's like,
I didn't even bring this on myself.
yeah, in what world is this okay? And also the woman who's deciding on whether she wants to stay or go, that's the divorce conversation. That's a loaded, and there are women who believe that divorce is haram and it's hated, and they have all of this cultural baggage on top. So it compounds, it makes it harder for them. So they think that they're condemned to stay in this, and that's what the faith is asking them to do. I should just languish here. Let me just lay down in the middle of the road, because this is it for me.
Yeah. SubhanAllah, a lot of sisters who find themselves in this position say, how could he have done this? Like, why? Why did he do this? Why did he do it in the way that he did? And they're so fixated upon the why, they can't seem to move past that. And I think I said this in another episode, it's so important to move away from why he did it to you're now in this position, and you have to accept that this is where you are. This is the reality. And then once you accept that this is where you are, now you need to look at, is this going to be healthy for my soul? No one should tell a woman to leave or stay.
No.
Okay?
No.
And I'm not here saying that anyone that finds themselves betrayed or anyone that finds themselves lied to, or even if they've been told that they should leave. No, because every single marriage is different. It's unique. It's subjective. But it's really important for the woman to move away from why he did what he did and how he did it, and sit with the reality. You as a believing woman, as a servant of Allah, your priority is how you are going to return your soul back to its Lord. That is above your marriage.
Yeah.
It is above you being a mum. It's above everything. Now you need to sit there and you need to consider this new situation that has either been thrust upon you or you found yourself lied to or whatever. You now need to look at this situation, this new reality, in the light of the health of your soul.
Pardon the interruption. we want to share with you something that's very important, a project that we've been working on and empowering people with called the Polygamy Masterclass. I conduct a 4-part men's polygamy masterclass where we go through the 4 stages of polygamy. So when we're talking about the idea stage, the what to expect stage to transitioning, as well as the new normal, which includes a whole bunch of stuff in between there. All right, of course, include leadership and financial things as well. Now, I want men to check that out by going to polygamymasterclass.com. In addition to having access to the live courses as well as the pre-recorded ones, you also get downloads, you get access to me directly. So let's get busy if you really are serious about practicing polygamy in a healthy manner.
Yes, and in our Women's Polygamy Masterclass, we train on preparedness in polygamy.
In addition to connecting with your co-wife and everything in between.
So make sure you go to polygamymasterclass.com for higher level education. Now back to your video. Let me ask you a question though. Let me ask you a question because we agree. I agree with that. I think, that's absolutely true for all Muslims, for everybody. But could that be mistaken as spiritual abuse?
Right, I was going to say.
God card? Because that's what it sounds like. Because if a man is saying your husband is saying the same thing,
I totally was going to say.
Then it sounds like spiritual abuse.
I totally was going to say that. I was going to say that the stuff that she's saying right now, we were talking about and putting that, like that could be put through the whole entire video. And if a man was saying just like the other sister, I don't know her name, that was whatever somebody had said, was like, well, this is God card, it is a spiritual, this type of thing. And I'm like, well, this sister just said the same thing that you said that the sheikhs or whatever was saying, and you said they were like being dismissive and didn't have your back. So does she not have your back by telling you that you have to sit in that and say, okay, what is it going to do for my soul? And
So
to work on that.
Yeah, so when we on the floor and all of that stuff, we have to hold ourselves accountable to a certain degree. We as Muslims are supposed to give each other sincere advice. We can't make anybody do anything. We can advise and say and warn and give them dalil on different topics. But when we're on the floor, we need to think like that.
Yeah, right.
When he can't get you up and when you want to lay in the road, like she said, think about that, your akada, and what you need to be doing here to make sure that transition is not one where you're going, well, I killed myself because he got married again and I know Allah allows it, because you're going to be asked, because it's about accountability for what we do. You're going to earn Jannah. You're going to earn it. It's not going to be just given to you. So our husbands, our children, they're additions, but they're not our lives. They're pieces and parts of our lives. They're trusts. So when we start going, well, if he does this, I'm going to jump off something. If he does this, I'm going to lay in the road. This is an addition, a trust for you. Not something that you're supposed to be so focused on that you think of ending your own life. Okay, because you're upset. We're not diminishing you being upset. We're not saying upset is wrong. It's about controlling it. It's about controlling oneself and our responses. We have to be so careful. We have to be so careful that we're not indirectly worshiping our husbands, our children, our parents, these things we have. Because Allah is going to keep redirecting you. And sometimes it looks like polygyny.
And just for clarity, none of us can earn Jannah. We know that.
Can't earn
and
it.
Basically you're saying you're being tested. You're going to be tested.
That's right.
Period. So just clarify that. Alhamdulillah, it's about the mercy of Allah Ta'ala. To get Jannah, we ask Allah Ta'ala to forgive us and cause us to be in Jannatul Firdaus. Allahumma ameen. And wrapping up the video, again, the sister's advice is on point. It's really good. We could have kind of led with that. Yeah. But sometimes you got to let people air stuff out.
Some women have decided to accept and to take on this path of struggle, and that's what they're offering to Allah. And you know what? No one should shame them for that.
No.
And some women have chosen to leave because if they didn't, they're going to remain on the floor and they wouldn't be able to worship their Lord properly.
And no one should shame.
And no one should shame them for that. I think essentially, and there's so much we could say on this topic, but essentially, polygamy it requires clear, healthy, effective communication from the start. Like you said, from the intention. Okay? And it needs to be executed in a moral Islamic manner.
With ihsan.
With ihsan. In a humane manner.
Seeing that the women are actually human beings. They're not property. They're not just nothing. They have got souls. They have got emotions. They have got thoughts. They have got wants. They've got desires. And that's okay for them to have, right? I think many of us, women and men, have yet to even fully accepted that that's the case. That a woman, you're dealing with a whole person. You're not dealing with a shadow, an actual human being. And to come with that level of emotional maturity, intelligence, and just ihsan.
Respect and consideration.
That was my last point.
That was your last point, your final thought.
My final point, I think, in the cases of polygamy, the woman who finds herself in that position, like in the case of a person who's on the fence about divorce from a monogamous marriage, I think the advice tends to be that we need to maintain the institution. We need to keep the house intact, even if it's going to be at the expense of the individuals who comprise it. And I think that's a dangerous bit of advice. Like you said, if it's going to cost you your spirituality, if it's going to cost you yourself, you need to make a solid decision. Not
Just note how different this is from the beginning, where the focus was supposed to be on how it's not done right, and how she focused absolutely and only on polygyny. Very telling.
just for keeping the house intact. An unhealthy mother, how good is she for her kids? What kind of environment are you making? So I think there's a lot to consider there.
My final thoughts on this is that you need to seek help. You need to, particularly those who have been lied to and betrayed, you need to work through this with a professional, number one. And number two is you're going to have so many questions. You're not going to know which way to turn. You're going to be 1 minute trying to work it out, 1 minute wanting to leave. The most important thing is to break it down right to the basics, and that is you are a soul passing through this dunya on a very temporary journey. What is going to help you to return back to Allah as your best self, and make your decision on that? And that's going to be subjective. It's going to be individual. You make it for yourself once you have gone through the healing work.
All right. So, yeah, that was that. And again, good parting advice. We encourage people that are dealing with traumatic situations or going through trauma or whatnot to seek help. All right. If it's counseling, whether it be for couples or those practicing polygyny or individuals, you can find how to coach with Coach Nyla and Coach Fatimah back around. Coach Fatimah and Coach Nyla. Go to CoachFatimah.com or CoachNyla.com for coaching and counseling. And we, should there be any extra circumstances where brothers want to get involved with me, whatnot, email us, support@outstandingpersonalrelationships.com. We can work with you on that level. However, no matter what it is you do, whether you're working with us or someone else, make sure that you are doing that individual work. That's why we have over 500 videos on YouTube. That's why we give out so much free information. That's why we've developed high-level courses. I mean, we have a polygamy masterclass where we teach the different stages that men go through, or first wives, initial wives go through, or additional wives go through. And you have the worksheets and the downloads. You have direct contact with us because we did not have that help. Okay? So we had to invest in ourselves. We had to reverse engineer things. We had to get coaching. We had to get counseling. We had to do a whole lot of things to get to where we are now, being able to share with you and do a reaction video on something that wasn't the easiest to get through. Right. All right. But we must understand we should be balanced when talking about it. Because imagine us sitting here for 30 minutes talking about the challenges and problems of monogamy. Then the person will be like, I'm not trying to get married. And all of a sudden there wasn't a problem. Yeah. But now this becomes a problem. You planted the seed of a problem.
Created it.
All right. And again, I don't know the sister's marital status, is judging by kind of the conversation. And, many times Muslims wear rings and stuff like that, sometimes part of the mahar or not. Maybe they're not married. Maybe they don't understand the dynamics of that, or being married, or were previously married. Allah Ta'ala knows best. You know, we want the best for the sisters. If you know them personally, individually, you know, reach out to them. They can react to our reaction video or have us on our show. We can do that too. Or me and some other brothers who we reached out, or brother reached out before. They want to hear from brothers who practice polygyny, who may have done it wrong, as they consider, like myself, and had to work on things to get it on track to where things are going and growing right now. Hey, have us on the show. Let's talk. But nevertheless, we appreciate all of you listening, going through the reaction. Let us know that you watched it. Put in the comments HTT reaction. You have any closing remarks, ladies?
No.
All right. Yeah, we went on long with some technical difficulties during the way. Hopefully y'all don't mind. Nevertheless, put HTT in the comments. HTT reaction in the comments. Let us know you checked everything out. We appreciate y'all sticking here with us. We're going to end with GLC.
Make sure you are growing intentionally.
Loving fearlessly.
And connecting on a higher level every single day. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. Here are 3 ways Outstanding Personal Relationships can help you.
Make sure you guys are following us on our social medias at Outstanding Personal Relationships on YouTube and Facebook, and on IG at Outstanding Relationships.
And make sure you sign up for our email list. And you can actually email us at support@Outstanding Personal Relationships, where you will get updates on our new book, Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored, as well as exclusive access to our lives and bonuses.
Absolutely. If you're looking for more polygyny education, make sure you visit polygamy-masterclass.com. Now, if you're looking for coaching or counseling with either Coach Fatimah or Coach Nyla, you can find them at.
Make sure you visit me at CoachFatimah.com.
And myself at CoachNyla.com.
That's how we can help you. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Peace.